against gun violence. And we've been joined by another individual since we had our first segment, and that second individual that we've been joined by is Pastor Orr. And Pastor Orr will give some statements in reference to his background, his education, and some of the things that brought him here, and after which Pastor Walker will start us off with our topic of the day, dealing with gun violence. Why don't you give us some statements, Pastor Orr, in reference to who you are and why you are with us today.
Amen. My name is Pastor Samuel Orr, the Rock United Ministries, graduated from East Nashville High School, been pastoring for 6.5 years, ministering for a little over 9 years, and the reason why I'm here today is Pastor KWalker and I, along with Shanice and a few other organizations, we work together for us trying to reduce violence. We can't stop it, but we sure try to reduce it, and one way is by uniting together. And my church is located 2134 15th Avenue North, Nashville, Tennessee.
Pastor Walker, you know, he's indicated that the topic that we are really dealing with today, and that is the increase in gun violence within our community and what strategies we might be able to develop in order to decrease this gun violence. As a matter of fact, quite recently, I think we heard that there have been more than 10 shootings over the last 3 or 4 days in this city. And so why don't you make some statements in reference to how you perceive the kind of violence that we're faced with and what might be done, and then we'll go to Ms. Gleaves and then on to Pastor Orr again. Why don't you start off?
Well, you know, Dr. Henry, there's no doubt that there is an issue with gun violence, you know, and I think it's a deeply rooted issue because you got to factor in there's a lot of anger, there's a lack of morality, there's a lack of teaching, there's a lack of understanding, there's a lack of the ability to resolve conflicts without violence. So this thing is really escalating, and then you got to also look at the fact that there are more guns that are being placed into our society as well, you know, to help perpetuate this thing dealing with gun violence. So you take and to sit here and basically deny that it's the major part when we talk about gun violence in the United States of America. We're actually talking about gun violence amongst the African American community because that's where you get a lot of the gun violence, you know. Our people are murdering one another on a daily basis. And we have to get a solution. We have to come to some point where we get our hands on this and develop some strategies. Therefore, you got different programs that are out here that are designed to do something about this situation that pretty much is a dilemma right now. You know, gun violence is at epidemic proportions, and I think it takes a full-out effort, not only by just one set of individuals, one agency, one group, but we have to come together as a collaboration to make some things actually happen, to make our impact felt within our society, because we got to serve our people. And when it comes to the church, you know, and I'll say this, when it comes to the church has really got to step up and take an active role in this situation. I'm not one of those individuals. I'm one that's very quick to say that, you know, we talk about the church and in this age of multicultural, multiracial churches and stuff like that, we cannot neglect we cannot fail to neglect to realize that the church has to have, if there's a big issue with gun violence in the black community, the black church needs to have a black agenda. And that's what we're finding that's not really prevalent in our churches, in the black church in America, is a black agenda because of the fear of seeming a prejudice, fear of seeming racist, I mean, whatever that fear is. But, you know, we have, if it's our problem, then we need to have an agenda to address and to deal with and to solve our problem. Otherwise, that problem will always be our problem. It will never be solved.
Very good. Now, Ms. Gleaves, you're trying to do something within the framework of what he's talking about. How are you trying to address some of the issues that we're dealing with here, Ms. Gleaves?
Okay. I have a boys program called Gents. And Gents is ran by my brother, who is an ex-gang member and who has been a part of the violence. And so just talking to him and understanding what his mindset was when he was a part of the gangs and when he was out here doing what he was doing. He gives me a lot of insight to understand how to reach these boys and how to come to them. We cannot be scared of them. We have to come to them and talk to them, love on them, see what's really going on. And just to piggyback on what Pastor Walker was saying, it's too many churches in these areas where all this violence is going on. There's too many people out here. We have to be forceful and go out here and take our communities back. We cannot be scared of, we just can't be scared. We have to get out here and really do something and make something happen.
Mm-hmm. Pastor, what do you think about the escalating violence among perhaps many of your members of your church and congregations, and all of our churches and congregations? What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Some of my members have been ex-gang members or present gang members because of the area that we're in. One of the things that I praise Pastor Walker for what he just said was education. Our people perish from lack of knowledge. And one of the things is if we believe that guns grow in grounds, then something's wrong. They don't grow in grounds. They're handed to us. They're handed to us. And one thing that she failed to mention is her brother is an ex-gang member, but he's also a Christian believer now, working for the Lord. And that's how we have to show these young people as well as old people, because my uncle was killed last year and it wasn't by a gang member. So we have to show them other ways. And as she said, don't be afraid to go out and walk amongst our neighborhoods and get the churches to come together as well as different organizations. This is what you're doing today, having us be able to speak out and let them know that we're not afraid. If somebody do a shooting over here, we're going to go pray on that land and cast out those demons and let those demons know that we're not afraid to do God's work.
And so, Pastor Walker, you think that the efforts that we're making here is directed in reference to some of the things that we have to do? Is that what we're saying?
Oh, absolutely, Dr. Haynes. We got to have, first of all, we got to have a healthy dialogue about what's really going on and deal with the issues the way they are, real, and not, just not skirt over them and look at it as and pretend like it doesn't happen. We wait for events to go down, and then all of a sudden we want to mass together and we want to march when we should be massing together and marching when one young black man get killed and there's no counseling for the young children around that witnessed it.
Okay, very good. And of course, what we'll do now is to take our second commercial break, and then we'll come back for this third segment, and we'll have 10 minutes to further elaborate and explain some of the things that we're talking about. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.